Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Training Room for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trading your charts, not mine. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. Right. Set this aside. We have a crude oil inventory report session coming up at 10:30, so I'll run this session to about 10:15. Close it down. New short setup on the pound Aussie. We've taken a full loss already. Fairly small trade on that loss. Risk was 17 pips, so down 85. This is definitely a better size trade. Crude just missed this get in sync on this long setup, so we're still flat, no trades yet. Unleaded was not so lucky. It got in sync on the longs trade and took a full stop out. So it is risk was 57, so it's down 114 ticks. Soybeans has a potential get in sync short rather. So we have a get in sync long pending on the YM. Micro Russell is flat. And we'll look at micro NQ and something else is done. Entry at 194. Now we're still not in that short on the pound Aussie yet. And it's still, the lowest point was 4 ticks above it. And the YM has gone too far, so that is off the table. Hi, good morning, Sammy. Change time is going to be in on your control panel under Tools, Options, General. It'll be change your time zone. That'll change all of your charts. The volume, get to in just a minute because we've got the market opening, just about to open. I'll get to when we get a little pause there. Soybeans has gone too far, so that's all, that get in sync short is off the table. Pound Aussie still hasn't triggered in. And the YM also went too far, and that stopped out, so its system is flat. Squeeze zone filter on the long trade on crude. All right, market's open, and there's a long setup on the YM. I believe that was a little too fast to catch. Let's see. 14, yeah. 1 second on the bar down, so this is a get in sync trade. Way too fast it executed right at market open there. Now it's coming back up. That's a valid entry. Coming up to test the 200 EMA. That's not the one I wanted. Ooh, taking a hit. Oh, bouncing back and forth between the 50 and the 200. Gonna make life difficult. Yeah, 32 tick target one's plenty large. Okay. Couple of filtered shorts on the YM. Those are both squeeze zone. YM is sitting in between the 50 and the 200s. The long trade was with the 50 EMA, so that's why it was a valid trade. And the shorts are filtered. And back to the entry again on the YM. That's the only trade we're in right now. Pound Aussie still has a valid short. Nothing else in trade yet. YM trying to break through the 200. It's oscillating back and forth around it right now. Pound Aussie triggers in. So we're short there. Short on the Pound Aussie, long on the YM. Back to the 200 EMA. Very much a testing zone, but you've gotten 50 and the 20 pinching up toward it and below. So testing the 20 SMA now. We're 4 minutes in, so the micro NQ would be valid now. It's in its trade window, its time window, starting 4 minutes after. And another filtered short on the YM, testing the 50 EMA. Trend appears to be up on the YM. It's having to work its way through these moving averages right now. 50 seems to have been indicating support. We've got to get up through the 200. Soybeans early trade hitting target 2. Bouncing off the 50 on the YM, trying to push up now toward that last swing. Short setup on the micro Russell. Upper right corner. This is a little bit larger trade. Target 1 is going to be our money management level. So I'm going to wick on that bar. This is catapult using a custom Renko bar. 1.5 point brick size with a 0.5 point offset. 15 tick bar with 5 tick offset. And that did trigger in. Let's see. How big is target 2 on this one? 3.4. Yep, that's big enough to move it down from target 3. So there is our first actionable target, is target 2. Meanwhile, YM's still working with the 200 EMA, not able to get away from it meaningfully. Crude and unleaded still flat. Micro Russell taking heat. That cyan line is the 22 EMA. That is the EMA filter on this plan. And stopping out for a full loss there. And we now have a long setup. That should have had plenty of time to get in. And we came back down through it, so definitely have time. You're definitely in this. Need one more 14 tick minimum for money management. So we need to move up 1 tick. Target 3 is our actionable target. There's money management. Stop will move up to 76.3, it looks like. And the YM hits money management, trailing at 524. And we stop out at 524, so that's just a partial. Is our entry on that way back here. A lot of bars. Entry was 521, so 3 ticks with 6 ticks total. Looking for another trade. I don't think we got close down far enough to get our low 524, so 22 would be actually, yeah, looks like we're gonna get another yellow trade on the next bar. And here it comes. There it is, and that's too fast to catch. 67. And there is an entry. Came back to us. Big trade here. Our stop was just below the prior, or actually just above the prior entry. Stop is at 522. All right. We got a break-even trade on the micro Russell catapult chart. This is a spotlight chart for YM. sure we're looking for target 1. Yeah, 39 ticks. And another long trade on the Micro Russell. Loss on a break even so far. And that one, 44, 44. That one I'm going to say is a no trade because it did touch, it hit the entry, but that looked like it was too fast and came back and touched the stop. So that's a no trade. Too fast to execute. Target was right up at session high. Uh, 1.3, so we needed one more tick. We did just get money management. 82.1. But that's a no trade because it did hit the stop, and notice the calculator is not tracking because it recognized the stop out. Pound Aussie looks like it's turning up a bit. All right. Moving averages have crossed above the 200 on YM. It's trying to reach up to money management again. 71, so 570, 569 would be the trailer. Our entry was 567, so yeah, it'll start trailing now. Oh no, it hasn't started trailing yet. We're still at full risk. All right, we've got crossovers. We've got a crossover to the short side. Now crossover to the green side, and there's a long trade on the Micro Russell. That is too fast so far. It'll have to get in sync. It'll have to come back up. If it hits the stop, it'll be a no trade. Yeah, it's going to have to move up a tick. All right, there's the entry. So in the Micro Russell, looks like we're just a tick or two, got within a tick, got 1 or 2 ticks of money management on the YM. Nothing on crude or unleaded. I haven't forgotten about you, Sammy. There we go, money management. That's a second money management trade on the YM, so that will be, this is a power quitting trade, and we will be positive. 584 for the, and there's target 1. So 39 tick target 1 to go with our 6 ticks from the prior trade. We're at 45 and still with the trailing position. Money management on the Micro Russell. And target 3 and trailing. And target 4. 84.8 for the trailing stop. Now moving up to 84.9. Came down within a tick of our stop, still in the trade. Came down to 85.0. Stop not moving because we pushed below the and stopping out on 84.9. So that is a win. So we have a lot now. A loss and a break even, and a win. So 3 trades. YM is going to be POQ, but it's not there yet. 5.99 for the stop now. All right, we trailed a 14, which is this lavender. I think it's lavender. It's not lavender, but it's something in the light purple range. There it is. Medium purple is what I use. Stop and reverse. Set up on the pound Aussie. That's going to be 213. Plotted is 211. Up through target 2 on the YM. That's not the one I wanted. That back where it belongs. YM moving nicely. $6.17 for the trailer now. And a new long trade on the Micro Russell. And that one, let's see what we got here. 18, same second. So I'm going to guess that's a no trade. I wasn't watching that when it happened, but since we had 2 bars printed on the same second, I'm going to guess it came up and dropped back down pretty quickly. So that would be likely a no trade. Too fast to execute. So I won't worry with the, yeah, we didn't need another tick. YM stops out. That is done. 619 from 567. 52 pips, 52 ticks, plus 39 and 45, 97 ticks today. And we'll put unleaded up there so we can take a look at micro NQ. All right, micro MQ. And there's our first trade, 935.20. That one's going to be no way to get away from that one. That's a full loss. Most likely an avoidable trade on trade number 2. Same on trade number 3. Hell, actually, trade number 3 I'll have to look at because that could be a valid trade, which is going to stop and reverse if it is valid. Actually, that looks like an avoidable trade as well. That's a second, definitely a second full loss. All right, we got a long trade, hit target 1, got a few ticks, essentially a break even on the micro Russell. Still nothing on crude or unleaded. Yeah, that was a full loss on. That's a second full loss. These trade plans are 3 full losses or 6 trades max. Or target 2 in positive. So yeah, that was. Actually, I got to go back and look at. And that one was definitely a loss. That one's avoidable. This one, yeah, I'm going to have to duplicate that one and see what it looks like. All right, short trade on the micro Russell. Man, getting some big trades in micro Russell. Trades with wicks. Let's go 3 seconds. I'm going to bet that one was, so far it's a get in sync, would be my expectation without going back and looking at it. Obviously, if you were trading it, you would be focused on it, but definitely going to be a target 2 winner, or target 2 that we go for. Target 1 is money management. Start trailing at 0.7 of target, 70% of target 1 with a minimum of 14 ticks. So there's a good chance we'll start trailing before we hit money management on this one. First thing I'm going to do is take a look at this one. It looks like we have a current trade. Well, no, I got to go back and take a look at the other one first. That would be this one. So I am going to put a vertical line on that. Mark the entry. And the stop. And then we'll make it a 4-second chart. All right, we hit target 1 on the micro Russell. And we're trailing, well, actually, we are actually at money management, so we're break even. There it just plotted. So that's actually a trail at 85.6. We did stop and reverse to long on the pound Aussie. That money management is actually one tick above the session high. All right, there's our 4 seconds to find the trade. Gotta go back a ways. There's the trade. Okay, we hit the stop before we hit the entry, so it's a valid trade. So kill that. Go back to this. So that's loss number 1. That ends up stopping in reverse. Now, no, it doesn't end up stopping in reverse. What did it do? I said that was too fast. But when it triggers in there, you got to move your stop up to there. But that's going to be loss number 2. Yeah, I would have cut the loss, but it's still going to be a loss. That's definitely a no trade. So that was loss number 3. So that ends the session on loss number 3. And I'll bring the micro or bring unleaded back down. Caught in the noise on the micro NQ. We get target 2 and a trailer. So that's going to be all right. That's going to be a break even. This is going to be a win. So what do we have here? I've forgotten what we had on the. We had one. Okay, that was trade number 3. We got one each. That one, in all likelihood, yeah, just 11 seconds on that bar. So that's a no trade. This one is a break even. So loss, break even, and a win. 4, 5 is a win. Target 2 and trail. And that's where we are. One trade remaining. Crude and unleaded still with no trades. Soybeans, no trades either, still in the short. It came into the session with the get in sync that had gone too far by the time we hit our start time. And trade number 6 on the micro Russell is a long. This is a busy day. All right. 1.3, we need to go up a tick, so we are not hit money management yet. Go 6. And we get a full stop out. So that is the sixth trade. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 break evens. Basically an even session. Still long on the pound Aussie. YM got it done. Crude and unleaded have no trades. All right, Sammy, are you still with me? Micro Russell and Micro NQ are done. Pound Aussie's fairly slow moving. We'll keep an eye out for trades on the all right. Okay. Did you find the where to change the time? And this has changed. I think this has changed a little bit on yours, but it's tools, options. This is the control panel, obviously. There we go. General, and it's time zone down here. So Eastern time, US and Canada would be for crude, and what you want for crude and for that gold for that matter, because it's a metal traded out of New York. I think no, are metals traded out of New York or Chicago? All right, so that's that. No, I don't want to close it. I want to put it back over where it belongs. All right, so this is the volume chart I use for comparing the contracts. And to create it, what I do, we'll start a new chart. I start a new tab. So I just click that. It gives us a tab. I'm going to move that out of the way, so just in case we get actually, I'm going to close that and go back to there so that we can see if we get a trade on crude. Actually, we're past 10 o'clock, so no trades on crude anyway. Next thing will be the crude inventory report. So our instrument is going to be, you're trading micro crude, I believe, so MCL. February 26 is the current contract. That's the front month. And then we're going to do MCL March 26 for the subsequent. All right, that's what we need. We're going to bid. It's going to be a daily chart. Actually, I need to set both of those panels today. And does bid or last really doesn't matter. In this case, I'll leave it at bid. And we'll change the February to the same thing. So note it's going to go back 3 years automatically. that's all we need for that. Yeah. We'll load a template on there because you haven't got one set either. So we'll set that. There's our tab. We've got February and March contracts. So what we want to do is go here. We're going to do indicators in this panel. Is VOL indicator right there. And I don't need to change anything on that. Except for one thing. I'm not going to make it a new panel. I'm going to make it panel 1. Because I want it. And that's the only thing I need to change on that one. And then I'll come in and double click that again. And make this the March contract. And volume always calculates on each tick. And we're going to make this panel 2. Looks like we got no volume at all on March 26th yet. Something doesn't look right there. Oh, yeah, no, I got to leave that one on, those on last. Okay. That's right. I forget that. I'm setting this up. It's been a while since I set this chart up originally. So we make those last price. This one last price. All right, there we go. I'll put my volume indicators back on, I think. Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, that's right. We're on January, aren't we? That's what's wrong. So, and this is how you change it. So what I'll do is I am going to go ahead and go to templates, save as, and I already have it saved. I use a 0 so it's at the beginning of my list, but I have it vol 2 means 2 panels for me. And I have a vol 3 that I use for gold because we're looking 2 contracts ahead just to make sure we don't have one that skips volume on us. So I just make that a 3 panel doing the same thing. But you'd save it to a name that you are familiar with. I'll change it from my template to I do 0. You know, 0 vol 2 is a nice way to remember it. So you know it's a 2 panel volume chart, and then you can apply it to any symbols. So then you go into, now when you're going to change the first one up here, all you have to do is just type it in. So if I want to change February to January, I just type in MCL Jan 26. But if I'm going to change the second panel, I'm going to right click, data series. You'll find that I tend to right click and use the context menus. You're going to want to change, make this MCL Jan 26. And it's going to put that in the list, and you're going to select March and remove that. Click OK. It's going to load January. Then you'll just have to go back in and add your template back. So you load. And I go to my 0 vol 2. And there it is. So yeah, 23,000 on January, 1,800, 1,850 on February. And it's how I typically set that up. Makes it easy. And I have it January and February here. And it'll just you'll change one panel alternate months. You don't have to change both panels. So I only have to apply the template every other month. So I'll close that. Go back here. This is what I would be watching. Did you understand that? That way, I put it on a tab in the chart window, so it's always handy to the particular chart I'm working with. And I just, each market that I trade, I put it in. I put it on that chart window. So it's easy to, when it's time to check, and I can see I have it for full crude contract here. We can revisit that in the morning in Mike's room if you need to. But that's how it works. Why, wasn't that that was a big day. That was October 23rd, right at 450,000 contracts. And 288,000 on February's. Big day on crude that day. Normally around, here we are around 300, 350. That October 23rd would have been we'd have still been in the December contract at that point, because we wouldn't have come on to the January contract until about November, because we just started good on the December contract. I don't remember seeing that spike. Anyway, that's what goes on with it. All right, I'm going to have to go ahead and close this stream down. Get ready for the inventory report I'll be back in about 10 minutes for the new stream for the inventory report, and And I do trade in Sim for the inventory report on Spotlight, so everybody gets a chance to see how I place the trades and handle them. So we'll see everybody back in about 10 minutes, I hope. But for the moment, I'm gonna say goodbye and close this one out. We'll see you back for the inventory report in about 10 minutes. Hey, everybody, have a good one.